Hi everyone, Skye here with Scrap with Skye and the Snippy Scrappers. I have an album flip through for you guys and I can't wait to show it to you. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my desktop camera. All right, so there's a lot of things to tell you about this album. So this is a Fast2Fab album. If you're not familiar with Fast2Fab albums, I'm going to tell you all about them. So this is the Sparks of Magic album. I love this one. It's got this mica book cloth, black mica. So it's got a little bit of a glimmer, shimmer to it, as well as the design on it, the embossed design is foil. So this has a lot of sparkle and shine. I just love it. Another thing I did with this album was I turn it the right way. I created a custom spine. This makes your albums just look so beautiful on the shelf. I love doing this. And it's super easy. You just order them through the custom products application on the CM website. There's lots of fonts to choose from. You design your own. You can put, any kind of labeling on it and size it in all sorts of ways. It just makes the perfect little finishing touch for your album. So this, as you might suspect, this album is called Sparks of Magic, and it's intended for a very thematic projects. I am using mine for a Disney trip. So let's go ahead and take a look. So Fast2Fab albums come with pre-designed pages. So on this page, this red strip, and if you can see in the background, there's little kind of like fireworks bursts, and these balloons are all already on the page design. Now, I did add some embellishments from the Sparks of Magic embellishment pack, but the page itself, the background is just as it is. Another thing I really like about this one is this little label space there is super cute. It's normally those just kind of a white space with lines, but in this album, it's got the fireworks bursts and this cute little scalloped circle for your label. So I did this Fast2Fab album using some of the Fast2Fab embellishment packs as well. The pages are so beautifully designed, you wouldn't need to do that, but that's an option if you like to dress up your pages just a little bit more, which is what I chose to do with this album. Your typical Fast2Fab is going to allow you to put about 100 photos, maybe a little less, on with a single pack of pages. Page packs are 16 pages, so that's 32 sides. And you can get one done in about 2 hours. I did actually worked on this album with a friend who did the same trip that we did. And she got hers done in an hour and 53 minutes. And I think she had about 95 photos. And she used the embellishment pack and she wrote at least one thing on every 2-page spread. So it can be done. It's a great way to get caught up on your albums, to maybe do a specialty album. Like in this case, I normally do a family album that's chronological, but I had, several hundred photos from 3 days in the parks. And so I wanted to make an album for just this trip. And this was a great way to do that without it taking me weeks to get it done. My album, I did have more photos, and so I used a second pack of pages. So I have a little under 2 packs in here and about 160 or 70 photos, I believe. So, and mine took me just a little bit longer than that sort of 2 hour per pack of pages, only because I did quite a lot of journaling, which you'll see as I go through the album. And I did use most of the embellishments from the embellishment pack, the sticker pack, and the map pack. So I'll point those out as I go along. Something I do on most of my albums is I put a feature photo. So in this case, I have a nice 5x7 of my daughter and I in front of the iconic Snow White castle. That was fun. And then I just did a little title embellishment there. All right, so again, these pages are all pre-patterned. These banners here are part of the page pattern. That wasn't anything that I cut out paper strips and adhered on there. That was already there. I used this white one for some journaling. This is an example of one of the laser mats. I absolutely love, love, love laser mats. And there was a pack that came with this collection, so I couldn't resist. And it's just really fun and adds a bit to the page. I love these star papers and they're opposite. So this one is mostly yellow with white stars and its opposite is mostly white with yellow stars. I did cover some of it up with my photos. And I added here an 8.5 by 11 pocket page for the park map, and then the list of the attractions and dining options on the back. So just inserted that in there. I did an embellishment cluster here. Not very many rides got its own dedicated page, but this one did. I just thought that it was fun and special, and was something that I remembered from my first trip to Disney, which was many years ago. I was 6 years old and it was the 1970s when I was there last. So It's a Small World has really held up well. And I just love the attention to detail. You know, it's not a thrill ride. It's not flashy or scary or exciting. Doesn't get your heart racing, but it's super sweet. And just the attention to detail in there is great. Here, again, I used one of those laser mats. And the embellishments, the pages just kind of speak for themselves. It was just really quick and easy to put these pages together. Same here, this little embellishment is built into the page, and so I just used it for the title. Here was one of the mat packs that had some journaling on it, so I did use that there. And again, already pre-made. I did some embellishments. Again, there's another one of those laser mats. You can tell I love those. I use them quite a lot. More of the same, few embellishments here and there, but really just allowing the pictures to speak for themselves. I tend to be someone who mats most of my photos in my typical scrapbook. And you'll notice that in this album, there's hardly any photos that are matted, just a few special ones here and there using the laser mat pack and some other mats from the mat pack. The only paper mat I cut was for this first photo in the album because it was 5 by 7 and none of the pre-made mats would fit it. But other than that, they either went unmatted or I used one of the mats from the mat pack. And it took me a little while to get used to doing that, but really the backgrounds on these pages are just so beautiful that you don't need them to make your page more decorative and, you know, make your photos pop. They just do because of the way the pre-made pages are designed. Another thing I didn't do much of is cropping my photos. So you'll notice here, these two photos I cut down to 4 by 4. I didn't do a whole lot of that. There's just a handful of photos that I use the custom cutting system on, but mostly I just left them as 4 by 6s and just put them down on the pages and moved on. Another one of these mats. Here I had enough photos on the page. I wanted to make them just a little bit smaller so that there would be some room to, you know, enjoy the pattern on the picture. So I think I cut these down to 5 inches. Just so fun. It's fun looking through the album to remember the good time that we had. Here's one of the few times that I used the custom cutting system on this photo. Because, you know, that was the whole photo was of this guy. So the 4 by 6 was kind of, you know, would have taken up more space than it needed. And it just fit perfectly as a little circle there. And here I did it again, because I had so many photos, and also because the design, what I was featuring in each of these photos actually lended itself really well to the circle shape. And you'll also notice that it helps kind of with the continuity of the page, because here are the circles in this huge Ferris wheel. I can't remember what they actually call it, but it's the circular pattern here kind of transitions over this page. And then I also did a circle on this map pack just for, the flow and continuity of it. I just love these little scalloped. I mentioned it earlier. This is from the embellishment pack. There were a few of those in the embellishments as well as pre-designed on the cover. Just love that little scallop circle. Fun, another laser mat there. You'll notice I had mentioned earlier, I did a fair amount of journaling in this album. I really wanted to be sure to tell the story. It was such an action-packed few days. It was my daughter's very first time to Disney. It was my first time in many, many years. We really enjoyed it together. And there was just a lot happened, and we enjoyed so much. And I had a lot of fresh memories about it because we just took this trip in May. So just, 3 months ago, not even quite 3 months ago. So I wrote down as much as I could, and hopefully, when my daughter shares this with her friends, or maybe even her kids at some point in the future, my journaling will kind of set the tone and help bring back those memories, and, make it a little extra special. I love these black pages. So we're getting into my second set of pages now, and may remember this, it's repeating because I have a second pack in there, but I just love this black background with these beautiful bright banners on the side. More fun. Here I cut the photos down. Mostly just because I had enough photos that I really wanted to fit on there as best as I could. I love this spread. My daughter and I share a love of snacks. And so she comes by it fairly naturally. And of course, a theme park of any kind, a carnival fair, if you're a foodie, there's lots and lots of great options for you. So I had fun taking photos of all of the food snacks while she was there. This was, believe it or not, this is one of my favorites. This was a rainbow unicorn frozen refresher. And it was from Bing Bong Sweet Shop over on Pixar Pier. And it was very refreshing. I got just a plain mango one. She goes crazy with all the flavors, but it was good. It was good. Kind of wrapping up the album here with the end of our stay. So this was the fireworks. We went and watched that the final night. I thought that these looked great on this page with the black. It really just sort of, I don't know, it made it really stand out, I thought, with the bright colors and the lights from the fireworks themselves. And then just wrapping things up with the final couple of pages, recapping our visit in an extra large journal box there. And that is really everything. So the end of the album, I did wallpaper with a piece of paper from the Sparks of Magic decorative designer papers. Because the pre-designed page looked kind of funny all by itself without its companion page. So I just added this fireworks burst paper so that it would kind of match the front covers. If you remember, it's got this on there on the first page. So kind of tried to tie it up to make it kind of neat and tidy. And then I did put one final 8.5 by 11 pocket page that just had some, like the packet from the travel agent that helped us plan the trip, and the tickets and the little Disney thank you card and that kind of thing. So This was a really great experience for me working on the Fast2Fab album. I had never done one before, and all of the albums that I've made and all of the years that Fast2Fab has been out, I just never quite had the right project for a Fast2Fab. I'm gonna go ahead and switch my camera back over here. So when I was thinking about how I wanted to create an album for this trip, I really felt like this was the perfect opportunity to finally try one. And I'm so glad that I did. It was a great way to quickly put together a really, what I think is a beautiful album. And you know, just be able to enjoy it right away. Like my daughter, I finished it yesterday. My daughter looked at it before she went to school this morning, and um, you know, she and I both kind of relived a few moments and laughed about a few things. And of course, she asked when we're going back. But anyway, I just felt like doing the Fast2Fab for this type of album project was a really great way to get the album done quickly in a beautiful way. And now I can, you know, start working on the rest of my pictures for the summer, since I'm a little bit behind and have a little bit of a backlog to do. So it worked out great. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at my album, and that perhaps you have sparked some ideas on how you might incorporate a Fast2Fab album into your next album project, or at least something that you have on the horizon. And I appreciate you joining, and that's all for now. Happy scrapping until next time.